Hi, Studio Recapped here. Today, we're going to talk about a movie called Look Away, in the drama, fantasy, and horror genres. Spoiler alert is on. Take care. Maria is an 18-year-old teenager who is very withdrawn and quiet. At her birth, her father, Dan, eliminated Maria's twin because he considered her ugly. Years later, Maria discovers this truth after finding her mother's ultrasound photo, which shows two fetuses. Maria and her family don't share a close bond and fail to understand each other. Dan, her father, is unfaithful and constantly criticizes Maria to ensure she is flawless. He never listens to her feelings or problems and always insists she wears makeup and takes care of her appearance, which deeply undermines her confidence. Maria's mother, Amy, is an anxious and troubled woman who suffers from mental health issues and frequently has nightmares about childbirth. Dan and Amy insist that Maria attend the winter prom with someone to improve her mood, but Maria isn't interested. Dan is frustrated by Maria's insomnia, poor eating habits, and isolation, and he's determined to change her, but this only drives Maria further away from her family. Maria is so isolated that she has no real friends except for Lily. However, their friendship lacks authenticity. Lily has a mean streak. She often belittles Maria and takes advantage of her. Meanwhile, Maria envies Lily's outgoing personality and her romantic relationship with her boyfriend, Sean. Secretly, Maria is in love with Sean and constantly imagines herself in Lily's place, fantasizing about a relationship with him. This only fuels Maria's jealousy toward her only friend. One night, while in the bathroom, she sees her doppelganger in the mirror smiling back at her. Terrified, Maria quickly leaves the bathroom. At school, Mark pushes Maria to the ground, and everyone laughs at her, but Sean steps in to defend her and threatens Mark. Maria starts to believe Sean might have feelings for her. Later, Maria sees her doppelganger again in the bathroom mirror, but this time, the figure speaks to her. Introducing herself as Aram, the figure tells Maria she's there for her, knows all her secrets, and wants to take away her sadness. From the next day, Maria tries to behave more according to her family's expectations, pretending that she's fine. She decides to attend the prom but still doesn't have a date. While at her father's clinic, Maria notices him flirting with his patients. Later, they go to the movies, and on their way back, they encounter Mark. Mark pretends they are friends, but Maria's cold attitude embarrasses Dan. Dan asks Maria to visit his clinic the next day to receive her birthday present. Maria imagines her father might buy her a car to help her avoid taking the bus and dealing with Mark. However, the next day, she discovers that Dan's gift is a facial surgery to make her more attractive. This emotionally devastates her. Aram tells Maria that no one truly cares about her except her mother, who is too weak and needs help herself. Amy hears Maria talking in the bathroom and assumes her daughter is losing her mind, sharing her concern with Dan. To prepare for the prom, Maria has to learn ice skating. Lily agrees to teach her, but during the practice, Lily lets go of Maria's hand, causing her to fall. Lily doesn't even help Maria up and instead tells her, "Sean is mine," before walking away and leaving her behind. Maria realizes that Lily doesn't care about her either. Aram, aware of all of Maria's traumas and struggles, constantly reminds her of the pain she has endured and the things she has tried to ignore or overcome. Maria attends the winter prom. Shortly after arriving, Sean holds her hand to steady her, and they share a brief dance. However, Maria loses her balance and falls to the ground. Lily steps in, grabs Sean's hand, and prevents him from helping Maria. Then Mark approaches Maria, grabs her hand, and instead of helping her up, drags her roughly across the floor in front of everyone. Maria is hurt and begins to cry while the entire crowd laughs at her and mocks her. When Maria returns home in a terrible state, she calls out to Aram through the mirror, crying and begging for help. She places her hand on the mirror and surrenders control of herself to Aram in hopes of improving her situation. From the next day onward, Maria's life takes a drastic turn. The next morning, Maria exudes confidence in her interactions with everyone. She eats with appetite, unlike usual, and when she arrives at school, she boldly confronts Mark, who smiles at her mockingly. Her newfound confidence surprises everyone. Even though Lily didn't bother to help Maria the previous night, Maria acts kindly toward her and asks her to continue teaching her how to ice skate. However, her eyes reveal a deep sense of hatred. Maria devises a plan and secretly arranges for her mother and one of her father's mistresses to show up at Dan's clinic at the same time. Amy finally discovers what kind of man Dan really is. Maria begins to sense that Aram has taken full control of her actions. Though she argues with Aram about this, Maria admits to herself that the things Aram does make her feel better. Aram is capable of confronting others in ways Maria never could. Meanwhile, Maria practices ice skating alone and becomes quite skilled. The next day, she has a skating session planned with Lily. At school, Maria seeks revenge on Mark by finding him in a secluded area and hitting his leg hard with a baseball bat, breaking it. During their skating session, Lily is shocked to see Maria's progress. Every difficult move Lily performs, Maria mirrors with ease. Eventually, Maria falls but quickly gets back up and continues. Maria's behavior unsettles Lily to the point of fear. When Lily sees Maria following her, she panics and tries to escape. Maria chases her, and in the end, Lily falls hard, hitting her head on the curb and dying. After Lily's death, Maria grows closer to Sean and starts a relationship with him. At first, Sean resists, but when Maria confesses that she has always loved him and imagined being with him, he gives in. They start spending a lot of time together, skipping classes and avoiding school. The next day, when they don't show up, the police begin searching for them and want to speak with both of them. During this time, Maria and Sean go somewhere to drink and get drunk. Sean is still grieving Lily's death, but Maria's love and affection help him cope. After a phone call with his mother, Sean decides they should both go to the police. Unlike Sean, Maria is strongly opposed to going to the police. When Sean decides to go alone, Maria tries to stop him. Sean grows suspicious of her behavior. When Maria approaches him, he pushes her away and demands to know, "What did you do that makes you so afraid of the police?" Realizing she cannot stop Sean and has only made him suspicious, Maria strikes him on the head, killing him. She is devastated by what she has done and cries as she stands in front of the mirror. At this point, the roles are reversed. Maria is now the one trapped in the mirror, and Aram takes over completely. Maria has become Aram, a being filled with trauma, emotional wounds, and an insatiable desire for revenge. After killing Sean, Maria gets drunk and goes to her father's clinic. She takes off her clothes, standing naked in front of Dan. He asks her to put her clothes back on, but Maria refuses and demands that he look at her closely. Maria asks Dan, "Would you have loved me if I wasn't beautiful?" When Dan remains silent, Maria takes his surgical scalpel and kills him with pure hatred. She watches him die with a sense of satisfaction. Then she goes home and lies in her mother's arms, and in the final scene we see that Aram's and Maria's souls are both lying in their mother's arms together.